I've got to say, I'm not sure what this episode of Doctor Who was about, but it's never stopped me before. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today we're talking about Praxeus. That is the episode of Doctor Who that was this week, and I have to say that it was certainly a undertaking, shall we say. They went to Madagascar, Peru, and Hong Kong, and underneath the Indian Ocean. And they dealt with bloggers, they dealt with an astronaut, they dealt with a researcher that had quite an elaborate laboratory to be out in the middle of Madagascar. Some pretty advanced instrumentation, which made me think about it even as the doctor was asking about it. She almost seemed surprised that Suki, the character's name, had such a good laboratory there. Also, Adam Lang, the astronaut who went off course and went down somewhere in the Indian Ocean, is now being held captive by some kind of aliens. There are a few good lines in here where Yaz says, thought I'd discovered an alien planet on my own. And it turns out it wasn't a planet at all. It was just a settlement of some sort. And later on, when they are trying to trace this disease, which is what Praxeus is, it's a disease that is attracted by plastic, but it does tend to infect humans and cause them to vaporize. So also, it infects birds and causes birds to flock in an odd way. They never really explained what it did to them, but Ryan caught one of them, put it in his backpack, and brought it to the doctor, and he said, I brought you one of the birds. And she said, that's where that dead bird smell came from. I thought you'd just changed your shower gel. I thought that was kind of a funny line. But we have kind of a story of Adam Lang and his husband Jake, who they're estranged from, who's an ex-cop, and we don't quite know why, that he still kind of wants to be a cop, even though he's not a cop. And why under the Indian Ocean they decide to have this where the alien ship is, and Suki, who talks about her alien race that has been affected by Praxeus, and they had to come to Earth in order to find out how to treat it. It's all rather muddled to me. And I think I know what they were trying to do. Moffat was a master of making puzzles that the doctor had to assemble and figure out. And I think that's what Chibnall was trying to do in this. He was one of the writers of this episode, and he was trying to do a puzzle program a la Moffat. But instead, I'm not quite sure that he established what he was trying to do. Certainly, there was a lot of movement around. They split off the doctor from the assistants, and it gave each of them a little bit more something to do. It gave the doctor a little more to do in the episode, which is something that has been lacking in previous Doctor Who episodes, that you really don't see enough of the doctor. And I thought that she did okay in this. It's just the story. It has kind of a very simple core to it, but they told it in the most complicated manner. And I think that all they were trying to do was just make a puzzle story, but to my feeling, it was kind of ham-handed. So that's my thought on Praxeus. Not the best Doctor Who I've ever seen, not the worst, and reasonably well acted and had some interesting locations, but when it all goes together, it didn't make a lot of sense. So that's what I think about Praxeus. I'd like to know what you think. Please put it down in the comments, and we'll talk about it. We have another Star Trek Picard coming up on Thursday, and more as things happen. So, until then, don't go far.